what's up? It's Dominique. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to achieve the best base makeup routine, especially if you want your makeup to look flawless in person. I'm going to be showing you how to apply your foundation, how to apply cream blush and bronzer, how to powder and set your face, and of course I'm going to be showing you how to layer all these products beautifully. Makeup is kind of my obsession, so I got you when it comes to makeup tips. I am your go-to makeup bestie. But before we get into it, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and of course, as always, don't forget to subscribe so that we can become besties. Alright, let's get into the video. So if I'm about to make my makeup look flawless in person, I gotta pin my hair back so I can see what I am doing. This might have been a horrible pin job, so let me redo it. Much better. I feel like I have these little Shrek ears though. You know, like Shrek's little ears. I'm wearing a Shrek shirt. Maybe I'm just channeling Shrek today, I don't know. Alright, so let's begin the base routine. So when I do my makeup, I always start with my eyes first because I hate when eyeshadow fallout gets onto my foundation. So I always do my eyes first so that if any fallout falls onto my face, I can just wipe it off before doing my foundation. And that is a very crucial step if you want your base makeup to look flawless. So that's always step number one for me. So I'm going to do my eyeshadow, but this is not a video about eyeshadow, so I will be back once it's done. Alright, so I went ahead and I did my eyeshadow off camera, and here is the eyeshadow look that I have for today. And you can see right here I have a little bit of gold glitter fallout from the eyeshadow that I used on my lid. And if I did my foundation first, all this glitter that you see right here would get on my under eye and there'd be really no way to remove it. So this is why I do my eyeshadow first, because now I can go ahead and remove this glitter and then my face will be fresh and clean, ready for foundation. So the first step in my base routine is an essential step that I cannot skip, and that, my friends, is skin prep. So the first thing that I do to prep my skin for foundation is moisturizer. So for moisturizer, I have two options. This is the e.l.f. Skin Holy Hydration Daily Moisturizer, and then Tatcha Water Cream. Both of these moisturizers are great for any skin type, so that means anyone can use them. They are both extremely lightweight, and they wear so beautifully underneath foundation. And with skin prep before foundation, it's really important to only use a little bit. You don't want to overpower your skin with a bunch of moisturizers and creams and serums and primers before you put on foundation, because the more things that you put on your skin, the higher chance you have of looking cakey. Just because your skin isn't meant to have all those layers of makeup on it. So I always say use the tiniest amount of product that you can for the product to do its job. So now the next step in my base routine is primer. Honestly, I have been obsessed with this NYX Marshmellow primer. It's so beautiful. It works so good. I love a pore filling primer specifically because I really think that's what helps my makeup look flawless in person, truly. And this Marshmellow one is so nice. It's lightweight and it wears beautifully underneath foundation, and that is so important to me. I only used one pump and I'm just gonna apply it onto my hands and then specifically keep it onto my cheeks because that's where I have the most pores. And then once it's all on my cheeks, I'm going to use whatever's left over on my hands and then I'm going to put it up on my forehead. This primer also feels super hydrating on the skin, which is why I love it so much. And it pairs so beautifully with foundation and moisturizer. It's just chef's kiss. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario foundation. I'm wearing the shade 9W. And the key to flawless base makeup is how you apply your foundation. Let me zoom you in so you can see this a little better. The secret to getting your foundation to look most like skin is how you apply it. And I've come to a realization recently that this is the best way to do it. So no matter what foundation you're using, make sure to pump a little on the back of your hand. And I'm just going to start off with one pump because if I need more, then I can go in with more, of course, but it's better to start off with a little than have too much and then you can't put it in, you waste product. So once it's on the back of my hand, I take a foundation brush. This is just the Peaches and Cream foundation brush with the number PC25. And then I use the brush and dip it into the foundation on the back of my hand, and then I start at the perimeter of my face and blend the foundation up towards my cheeks. And I want to see how far this one dip of foundation foundation can go over my whole face before I need to add more. And this way your foundation is going to look so natural because you're applying it super softly. I'm still going with that one dip of foundation, and I basically covered the bottom half of my entire face. And when you're applying your foundation, make sure to stop basically at your cheekbone right underneath your eye, and don't bring it all the way up to your waterline because you don't want your concealer to crease because you have too much foundation underneath the concealer. You know, your under eye creases can only handle so much product. So save that for the concealer and don't waste it on the foundation. So now this next step is also a very crucial step in my foundation routine. I'm going to take my beauty sponge and I'm going to press the foundation all into my skin. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do this for a good 30 seconds. Because what the sponge is doing right now is it's picking up the extra foundation that's just laying on the top of my skin right now. That doesn't need to be there, but it is because I just have too much foundation on. Even though I only use one pump of foundation, your skin doesn't need all that, you know? So it's pressing in the foundation and then picking up whatever's left over onto the sponge. And it's looking so flawless and just smoothing out any imperfections and brush marks. And I'm telling you, this is a game changer in my makeup routine. This is seriously the part that gives my foundation that flawless look. And I can so tell a difference when I do this and when I don't do it. But I can't tell you the last time I did my foundation and didn't press it in with my sponge. This is seriously the most magical part. I don't care what anybody says. This part is the best. I know it sounds a little weird, but I'm being serious. So I pressed in my foundation into my skin for a solid minute. I think I'm ready to move on to the concealer. Now for concealer, I'm going to show you one of my favorite concealer hacks ever. I'm going to be using the Hourglass concealer in the shade Silk. Alright, so how I apply concealer is I like to apply a little underneath my eye, starting in my inner corner, but I apply it kind of down towards my nose a little bit. Right here. You just want to be careful because like I said earlier, you don't want to apply too much cream on the under eye, you know? We want to avoid our concealer creasing as much as possible. And the more concealer you put on, the more creases you're going to have because your under eye just can't handle all that cream there. And under eye creasing is so normal because your under eye has creases. It's completely normal. And when your under eye has creases and you put cream there, what is it going to do? It's going to crease. So how do we fix that? We use as little concealer as possible, but you can also try this tip right here. What I do is I start blending out the concealer at the bottom and then I work my way up towards my temple with it. And I'm just blending it out. And then when I have a little bit of concealer left, I bring it up to my waterline. That way, I'm applying the tiniest amount of concealer near my waterline, which is where my concealer breaks up the most. Right there. So I'm bringing the least amount of product all the way up there and then blending it out. That way, most of the concealer that I just placed was blended out over my cheek. And then that helped with extra cheek coverage. And now my under eye concealer looks amazing. But it's not going to crease as much because I put the tiniest amount of concealer underneath my eye. And to me, that's so important because now I know that my concealer is going to last way longer throughout the day and not break up. Because who likes when their concealer breaks up? Not me. So right here in my makeup routine is where I would start applying the cream products. I always apply bronzer before I apply blush. And cream products are no exception to that. I do it with both cream and powder products. So I'm going to start off with cream bronzer. I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer Stick in the shade Medium. This is a really cool bronzer stick because it has the bronzer stick on one side and then a cute little brush on the other side to help blend out the cream bronzer. So how I apply these cream products is very similar to how I apply the foundation because I want these products to look as most natural as possible and as flawless as it can be in person. You know, that's my whole goal. So I know everyone wants to just draw on their face straight up with the bronzer stick because one, that's fun, and two, it's convenient and fast and easy, right? But how I apply it is I'm going to be using a brush. I just roll up the stick a little bit and then I take my brush and I just get some product all over the brush. And basically what I'm doing is I'm picking up a little bit of product and I'm applying it with a brush, which is helping to blend it out immediately when I apply it to my skin. Versus applying the bronzer stick straight to my skin like this. This can cause my foundation to lift. You can accidentally add too much product. It doesn't blend as nice. And then you're left with this thick line that you now have to try to blend out. Whereas if you just go in with a brush, you're basically blending it out immediately as it touches the skin, you know? And if I want to add more, I can always go in and do more on the brush. And I love applying my cream products this way. I mean, look, it's blending out instantly when I apply it to my cheeks. And I like to apply my cream products exactly where I would apply my powder products. So I'm going to start by blending it out in my cheekbone, and then as I'm blending it out, I'm going to move up towards my temple to help lift my cheeks, and then I'm going to bring it into about the center of my pupil, and that will be the stopping point of the bronzer. You really want all the products that you apply to your face to help lift your face up. So everything that I'm going to apply in my cheeks is going to go up towards my temple to help lift my face. And then I'm even going to apply a little bit on the sides of my nose to help contour my nose. I'm not big into contouring my nose. Maybe one day I'll become addicted to contouring my nose, but right now I just do it really softly and it gets the job done. I know this is like the one thing that I do really softly. Everything else super dramatic. And then don't forget your jawline as well. And now with the sponge, I'm going to help blend it in just like I did the foundation and the concealer. Basically any cream product I apply on my face, I'm going to tap it in after I apply it. It really helps to make the product look beautiful and flawless and so much more natural, especially in person. Okay, so now my skin is looking great, and now I'm going to be moving on to the blush. The cream blush, that is. So I'm going to be using this Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin blush. This is in the shade Rose and Brunch. I'm basically going to be doing the exact same routine. I'm getting a little bit onto the brush and then applying it onto my cheeks, and then I'm going to lightly blend it out and blend it up towards my temple. And that's also why I don't mind cream products in this type of container, because then it forces you to go in with a brush. And then with a brush, you just get the most soft and natural appearance. And you can really control the placement of the product and how much you apply on the skin, which is why I do my makeup like this. Alright, moving on to how I set my face. I know there's a million different ways on how to set your face, and right now it's a little bit trendy to just not set your face at all, only in specific areas. But for me, I like to set my entire face, you know? It's just a personal preference. So in this routine, I'm going to show you how I set my entire face, because that's just how I do it. And if I ever stop setting my face all over, I will genuinely be shocked, because to me it just feels so much better and more secure on my skin. So first I'm going to set underneath my eyes, and I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty setting powder in the shade Pound Cake. I truly love this powder so much, and I'm just using a little brush to apply it underneath my eye, and I'm going to apply it basically the same way I did the concealer. I'm going to start down here towards my cheek and then move the powder up towards my under eye. The more product that you put on your under eye, the more creases you're going to have, and that goes for powders as well. So I just lightly set it, and I absolutely love this powder, okay? It blurs so beautifully. I mean, it just blurred the heck out of my under eye, okay? The only thing with this is that it has a really strong scent. I think it smells good, but if you don't like fragrances in your products, you might not like this. But I'm telling you, it's such a good powder. Alright, I'm also going to set my nose with this powder, and I'm going to set in between my eyebrows with this powder as well, and also my chin and my laugh lines. I'm just spot setting with this powder because these are areas where I crease the most, and this powder I feel like does a really good job of locking things in place and making it last all day while truly blurring the appearance of pores. I mean, this powder is such a good one, and I think it was just recently going a little viral on TikTok, and I mean, as it should, because it's that beautiful. It deserves to be viral, truly. Okay, so now I'm gonna set the rest of my face with a different powder. I know I'm so extra, but this is really just how I do it. It's true, I'm this extra every time I do my makeup. But I'm telling you, does my makeup look flawless in person? Yes. Only sometimes though, because sometimes I get a watery eye, and then it's over with for the whole day. But anyway, I'm using the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I've talked about her so many times because I truly love her so much. This is my holy grail when it comes to powders. It has the most soft glow from within, which is why I use it to set the whole rest of my face, and it's also really thin and lightweight. And to do this step, I'm using a really fluffy powder brush. I'm dipping into the powder directly, and then I'm lightly dabbing it all over my face to set, because the lighter you apply this, the softer and more natural it's going to look on the skin. I just finished up my eyes and my eyebrows, so now let's move on to the rest of the face. So now I'm gonna go over all the cream products with powder products just to, you know, reinforce them and make them look even extra beautiful because what? I'm extra. So for powder bronzer, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Stalk'r powder bronzer, and this is in the shade Island Ting. For powder bronzer, I'm using the Peaches and Cream PC4 brush, and I'm going to apply this exactly where I placed the cream bronzer, making sure to hold the brush at the back of the brush. That way you'll get the most light and fluffy blend. If you hold it up close, you're going to get more of an intense blend and harsh edges. I'm just going to bronze my cheekbones and then bring it up towards my temple to help lift my face, just like we did with the cream. I love the bronzer step. It really transforms the look, truly. I think I would choose bronzer over blush, but that's hard because I love them both. So now I'm bronzed, so let's move on to the blush. And since you can still see my blush peeking through a little bit, I'm just gonna lightly go over it with a powder blush. I'm using the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Powder Blush in the shade Mellow Mauve. I'm just gonna lightly go over the cream blush with this powder blush, you know, just to make it pop a little. And I'm applying it the exact same way. I'm starting at the apples of my cheeks and then I'm bringing it up towards my temple to help lift the face. And I also like to apply a little blush on my chin and on the bridge of my nose, and then lastly right above my eyebrow. I feel like it really just completes the look that way. Is it just me? I don't know. I think so. I just love blush, okay? And I overdo it sometimes, but I like it that way. Lastly, I'm gonna apply some highlighter to my cheeks. Alright, so for highlight, I'm going to be using the Haus Labs highlighter in the shade Sunstone. I'm just gonna apply it with a little brush, and this is the Peaches and Cream PC17 brush. I'm gonna apply this at the highest points of my cheek, right above where I put the blush. I'm just gonna lightly add some to the cheeks, and I really, really love this highlight because it's so natural. Truly, it gives the most beautiful glow from within, and I'm not kidding. It's not your typical, you know, really bright blinding highlight. It just really has a good glow. Alright, there is one last step to my base routine, and I'm gonna teach you how to bake your face, because shout out to the people out there who want to be extra, like me. So to bake your face, you need two things. You need some translucent setting powder and then a sponge. I'm just using the Huda Beauty setting powder in the shade Pound Cake, so I'm just gonna take a little on the pointy part of my sponge, and then starting at the back of the hollow of my cheek by my ear, I'm gonna place my sponge. I'm going to drag it all the way to the ends of my mouth, and then I'm gonna help blend down the edges because any harsh lines right here will show, and then I also do it on the bridge of my nose as well. Alright, so this is what my bake looks like, and I'm just gonna leave this on for a little bit. I mean, you could leave it on for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. The longer you leave it on, the more intense, sharp of a line you're gonna have, but if you just leave it on for a few seconds, you'll have a really soft line. Today, I don't want to leave it on too long, so I've had it on for about 30 seconds. I'm just going to go ahead and dust it off. I'm just using a really fluffy powder brush that has nothing on it. And then you can see here that the bake just cleaned up my bronzer and really just gave it a sharp line. And it just looks very clean and put together, and a little bit extra if you ask me. But there is nothing wrong with being extra because I am extra. Alright, here is today's final makeup look. I am loving it. I mean, there is absolutely nothing better than snatched base makeup. I mean, am I right? I feel like my base makeup looks so good today, and I've really taken the time to perfect this routine. For as much makeup as I have on right now, I mean, it looks pretty natural, am I right? Natural? Look at my eyeshadow. There is nothing natural about this. Thanks for joining me today as I showed you my base routine and how I do it. My #1 goal when I do my base makeup is to make it look flawless in person, so hopefully I achieved that today. And I'll be back next week with a brand new video, but until then you can just go ahead and binge watch all my videos. I mean, why not? Once again, all products that I used in this video will be linked in the description box just in case you want to check any of them out. And before you go, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and of course, as always, don't forget to subscribe so that we can become besties. Alright, I will see you next week with a brand new video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I will see you on the next one. Bye!